Hello and welcome back. So now we want to set up the Rabbitmq connection, the consumers and the producers inside our user service. But first, just to go through this document. Now we already implemented for notification service, auth service. Now we are at the user service. Now for the users, remember the user service, it sends messages or publishes messages to the gig service. And then it also receives or consumes messages from the auth service, the order service, the gig service, and the review service. So we are going to create about 3 or 4 consumers. We have one producer, okay, in the producer file, but in the consumer that we are going to create, we are going to have about 3 or 4 consumers that will consume messages from auth service, from order service, from gig service, and from review service. Okay, so our user service, unlike the notification service that only received messages, it did not consume. It consumed messages, it did not send. The auth services as well, it sent, it did not consume. But the user service, it will consume messages from auth, order, gig, and review, and it will also send to the gig service. Okay, so let's create our connection. Now the connection we want to create is already similar to what we have. Okay, if I go to queues, connection, okay, so it's similar to what I have right here. Okay, so I can just copy this connection file. So I'll copy the content of this connection file. I'm doing this because it's similar to what we want to implement. Okay, so go to user service, source, create a queues folder, and then inside create your connection.ts. Okay, and then you paste. Okay, so we are going to paste this. Let's just make the necessary changes. This is going to be users, and then I'm going to change this to users queue, and then this is going to be users service, users as well, users service. Okay, so that's just all we need to do. We are connecting and then creating a channel. If there's an error, we close the channel, close the connection, or else we just return the channel. Otherwise, if there's an error, we log and then we return undefined. Okay, so this is just what we need inside our connection file. Let's go ahead and use this. We are already exporting it here. So I'll go to server and then scroll to the top where I have my start queues. So here, okay. Later, we are going to add the consumers. Okay, so I'll show you how we can use our consumers. Here, I will just import from queues. So this is going to be at users. Okay, so now we have the connection. Let's create our producer. Okay, so I think we already created the producer before, but I think we can create it again. So this is going to be user.producer.ts. Okay, so for the producer itself, I think I'll copy the log. Okay, so I'll copy log information and then import what I need from Winston, and then import logger, and then also config. Okay, and this is going to be users service provider or producer, users service producer. Okay, and let me fix this. Okay, and then the next thing is for us to create our producer file. So I'll call this publish. It's going to use a direct exchange. Remember, we have the direct exchange, we have the topic exchange, we have the fan out exchange, we have the headers. Okay, so here we are also going to use a direct exchange. Okay, so what it means is once the exchange receives the messages from the producer, it's going to send it directly to the queue. Okay, and here is we are going to take channel of type channel. Okay, and then we are going to take the exchange name. You know what, let me just let me continue. Exchange name of type string. we need the routing key of type string. We need the message of type string, and we need the log message as well of type string. Okay, and then here return a promise of type void. Okay, let me try to see if I can format this, and I'll click on format. Okay, so this is what we have now. Here I can export. Okay, now what do we need to do? I will use a try catch. Okay, try catch. So in the catch block, if there's an error, log.log, and then the level is error, and then I'll pass users service, what's the name of the function, publish method error, and then I'll pass the error object. Okay, but here in the try block, we are going to check. Remember that here we are saying if in the process of connecting and then creating a channel, there's an issue or with the process, that experiences this signal, we need to close the channel, we need to close the connection. Okay, so here we say if there is no connection or if there's no channel, then we want to create channel by calling the create connection method. So create connection method, we have to be very careful. Okay, this will be as channel. Okay, so this is at users then slash queues. Okay, so if no channel, then we create the connection and then it returns the channel. Okay, otherwise first we need to call channel.assert exchange. So we need to assert the exchange. Okay, so we pass in the exchange name, and then what type of exchange we want to set, a direct exchange. We want to use a direct exchange, and then we call channel.publish. Okay, and then we pass in exchange, we pass in the routing key, and we use buffer.from, and then we pass in the message. Okay, and here we can do log.info log message. Okay, so what this producer does is simply, we after passing all these properties, we check if a channel exists. If no channel exists, we create a connection and then create a new channel. Otherwise, we assert an exchange and we set the exchange name and the exchange type, and then we publish a message with the exchange name, the routing key, and the message. The message is always going to be a buffer, and then we log the info. But in the process of doing this, if there's an error, we log the error right here. Okay, so right now we have the connection and also we have the producer. Okay, we can check the terminal to see if we have a connection. Okay, so here you can see we have a connection to the queue. So user server connected to queue successfully, or you can say user server connected to Rabbitmq successfully. Okay,